we go. All right, good evening. Welcome to the March 25th Mayor of the Nixa City meeting of the Nixa City Council. All right, call the meeting to order.
Kelly Morris.
Here.
Sean Lucas.
Here.
Aaron Peterson.
Here.
Darlene Graham.
Here.
Zern Vess.
Here.
Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sign into Nixa.com.
All right, did everybody have a chance to review the minutes? Would anybody like anything removed? If not, I will accept the motion.
So made. Second.
First by Mr. Peterson, a second by Mr. Vess. Roll call, please.
Darlene Graham.
Yes.
Zern Vess.
Yes.
Aaron Peterson.
Yes.
Kelly Morris.
Yes.
Sean Lucas.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, moving on to our service awards. First up is Josh Coleman, 5 years with the electric department.
Mayor, Council, Josh came, started with the city in 2000 with the electric department, or street department. A year later, we stole him from the electric department, entered him in our apprentice program. This is his last and final year. Josh has done excellent, top of his class, no issues whatsoever, and hopefully he will stay with us, and I know he'll be a fine lineman. Kind of a funny story, Josh, I think it was within the first month of him moving over, we went to first week. The crew he was on got called out, mutual aid, and his crew was due to go next, and so he went down to Florida to help them out. So it was like throwing him right in the fire his first week on the electric department. But anyway, Josh is excellent, going to work great out for us, and we're proud to have him.
All right, next up is James Owens, also with the electric department, but for 25 years.
Yeah, James unfortunately couldn't make it today. Got a few more words to talk about James, but he's been here longer. But 2000, he started with the Parks Department, and in 2007, he moved over to us in electric as a groundsman. In 2012, we promoted him to substation tech apprentice. And in 2016, he graduated from the apprenticeship and became a substation technician. In 2023, we promoted him again to substation technician foreman. In these years with the electric department and substation, James has been involved in several upgrades in our substation. Starting with downtown, we got rid of the 2 small transformers, put 1 large one in there. And I don't know if you guys were here or not, but anyway, right when that was done is when SB blew up. So that was kind of a fiasco, and he was heavily involved in taking the small transformer that we still have in there, converting it from an overhead to switchgear, working with our engineers and everything, got it taken care of. New transformer in at SB, got it up and going. And I know Mr. Peterson's been in our substations and been behind, and he's rewired several of those, and Mr. Peterson can to test. There's thousands of wires in there that you gotta crimp and make sure they're right, getting tested. But James works great with our engineers, contractors, and he's involved now with our next upgrade, which will either be a new substation or adding a second transformer in one of our subs. But James has been here forever, good as gold. We're proud to have him, and city ought to be really great to have his expertise and loyalty to the city. Thank you.
Thought about just skipping this next one, but next up, Jeff Roussel, Street Department, 15 years. My favorite person to pick on.
Well, I'm not going to pick on him. I'll let you all do that. Mr. Roussel came to us in March of 2008. He's been with the street department the whole time. He came as a utility worker and equipment operator. He brought with him considerable amount of experience in concrete work, road work, supervisory work from previous roles. After increasing responsibilities for us, he was eventually promoted to street superintendent in June of 2015, where he's still at. Since then, he's done an admirable job executing a number of major improvements such as Main Street, Northview Road, Truman Boulevard, and just to name a few. And he's also still working on others, the Cheyenne Trail Project, North Street Design. Those are all major projects that take multiple years to get accomplished. He's the city's representative for the Ozark Transportation Organization Technical Planning Committee. He's done that for a number of years now. He's also our MoDOT certified local program administrator, or LPA. We have to have that to be able to accept STIP funds or cost share monies, those types of things. So he knows how to follow all of those rules and jump through all of those hoops to do that. He's continued to increase and improve our maintenance and operational services as the community's grown over the years. Snow and ice controls has gotten larger, enhancing road maintenance, expansion of pedestrian facilities and ADA upgrades, those types of things. Stormwater infrastructure has increased tremendously in these last few years as you've approved budget to do the Cherry Street project and some of those, which has required, he's started to become a master in getting right-of-way and easements, so I don't think wants to do that all the time, but he's become quite good at it. So, but Jeff's always one that has, wanted to provide the utmost in quality for anything he does. He immediately adopts new things and tries them out. A lot of times those have worked out really well for us in efficiency. He represents both himself and the city very well. He's responsible to the citizens, his integrity with those folks. He's highly respected across a lot of areas. So we're proud to have him. He's been here 15 years. Hopefully he'll be here to serve you another 15. So thanks, Jeff.
I do give Mr. Roussel a hard time often. However, he's probably one of the only people that spends as much time on the roads during inclement weather and crazy events as the police department. He is out there the entire time. The last snow we had, I was going back over here to pick up our administrative assistant at work, and there he is on a tractor, just clearing streets. So he's everywhere, so we appreciate you. All right. Next up, Troy McGinnis with the recycling for 5 years.
Hello, Troy couldn't make it tonight, but I would like to say a few words about him. Troy's with our recycling division of our wastewater department. He has, of course, been there for 5 years now. He is one of the bright smiling faces you see when you go to the recycle center. He is always eager to work with the customers and very helpful over at that department. One of the good things about Troy is that he was born and raised in Nixa, so if you ever have 20 minutes to kill, he would love to sit down and tell you every story he's ever known about the city of Nixa and how it was back in the good old days. That is his bright, shining skill, and a lot of the older folks that go to the recycle center love to just hang out and visit with him. So he's been a great asset to the city, and we hope to keep him for a long time to come. He's been very good at the recycle center, and we're very proud to have him.
All right, and next up with the Police Department, Officer of the Year, Sam Gallardo.
Mayor, Council, Corporal Gallardo received multiple nominations. Some highlights include praise for his dedication, professionalism, and exceptional contributions. Corporal Gallardo has demonstrated a commitment to continuous improvement and skill development. He has completed a series of specialized training courses, earning certificates in less lethal instructor, firearms instructor, and instructor development. These achievements not only showcase his dedication to personal growth, but also highlight his willingness to share his skills, knowledge, and expertise with others. In May 2024, Corporal Gallardo was appointed Assistant Team Leader on the Emergency Tactical Team. Following a departmental restructure, he was swiftly promoted to Team Leader. His tactical experience, firearms proficiency, and leadership make him an outstanding choice for this position. He continues to excel, and he contributes significantly to the team's success. Additionally, upon the completion of the department's organizational restructure, he was promoted to the rank of corporal. His promotion further underscores his exceptional performance and his value as a leader within our department. And I'd also like to add, he was assigned recently to our training unit. So he is our number 2 person in our training unit, which allows him to use all of the things that I just mentioned in a way that's going to help promote and grow everyone else that's in the department. So we are very thankful to have Corporal Gallardo. We hope that he has a long, successful career with us. And again, for all of these reasons, he was selected for Officer of the Year.
All right. That was the fun part. All right. I'm guessing nobody has signed up for the visitor section, so I'll open up the visitor section if you'd like to speak, and I'll go ahead and close the visitor section. All right. Next up, first reading Council Bill 2025-08.
First reading Council Bill number 2025-08, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Nixa amending Chapter 12, Article 2, Division 1, Section 12-21 of the Nixa City Code to provide for certain exceptions to the city's business license requirements. Council and Mayor, this was a discussion that Nick, myself, and Mr. Lyles had about amending the business license code that was adopted in August of 2024. The adopted amendments that happened in August included requiring all businesses that perform a service or conduct any retail sales within the city limits, regardless of their business's physical location, to have a business license. The update that is before you today, or the amendment to the code, has a couple of updates to the definition of business. One is to describe the business as being for profit, and the other will apply, the definition of business will not apply to any activity of a charitable or nonprofit organization, and will not apply to any business that is a part of an approved special event per the Nixa City Code. Staff does recommend approval of the amendments.
Any questions?
I just want to make sure I understand this. When it talks about the businesses operating as part of a approved special event, is that something like Sucker Days where they have the vendors come in?
Yep.
Those, each individual booth doesn't have to get a permit?
Yeah,
Is that
so
what
like
it's saying?
Sucker Days would apply to that. Nixpo, that's not really a special event, but like they wouldn't be required to. Our special event would not be required to. Anything that goes through the special event process that comes before, it would be Scott, that would count.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. If there's no other questions, I will open up the public hearing. If you'd like to speak on this, do so at this time. And I will close the public hearing. Anything else from council? All right, moving on, first reading Council Bill 2025-09.
First reading Council Bill number 2025-09, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Nixa amending the 2025 annual budget to appropriate funds for a splash pad and the Nixa Aquatic Center. Presenting is Parks Director Matt Krause.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. As you may have noticed if you've been by the park in the last several weeks, the splash pad is very close to nearing its completion. They've got basically everything on the outside done. We are waiting on a filter that is expected in the next couple of weeks as they'll wrap that up, and then we will start learning how to use and utilize the splash pad. However, as a part of that, we have come to some notice that we want the fence lowered and some more seating put in and around the splash pad. And that will fit within our budget, or at least a portion of that will, as the concrete work we can get within our our budget as is. However, the benches and additional seating would not fit within the original budget. And so tonight we've got a council budget amendment here for $15,000 to add those additional seating. What we will be doing is adding 8 feet of concrete around the outside fence of the splash pad and an additional sidewalk up to the splash pad. That additional sidewalk will not be ADA compliant, straight across from basically the bathrooms and the pavilion there. However, the one further to the north is ADA compliant. And so we will have both ways to enter the splash pad at that location. That 8 feet will allow us the space then to put some seating just outside the fence or right at the edge of the fence for those spectators that may want to sit outside, watch their kids play while the kids are inside the area. The lowered fence then will still be there for that crowd control for us to be able to close the facility down in the event of weather and that type of thing. The $15,000 will come out of our park impact fees and just add to that budget for us to complete the splash pad.
Mr. Krause, just for clarification, the 8 feet of concrete he was referring to is 8 feet width, not length.
Width, correct.
So it's going to be much longer than 8 feet, just for
Yeah,
clarification.
it's approximately, with both, it's approximately 150 feet worth of additional concrete, all 8 feet wide. It just follows the perimeter most of the way around, not quite all the way, and then down towards the bathrooms. Sorry, thank you.
Any questions? You could have blamed me, it was fine.
That's okay. It's all good. It's going to look really neat when it's done.
I think it will too.
What kind of seating is in mind?
Yeah, we've got a couple different styles. One is kind of a bench-style seating. It's about a 2-foot bench, or tabletop, if you will, with benches that would look directly onto the splash pad. The others are square with side tables. And
Okay.
so kind of like concession, but if you think that perforated metal that you would see as a typical park bench or picnic table, it'll be made out of that type of material.
Okay, awesome.
And the ones that have the 2 seats, they have an opening on, the 2 seats are on, one on each side, and then the opening on this side, so if a wheelchair was wanting to park in there and.
Yeah, it would be
They could,
ADA
so.
compliant.
All right, any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Cross.
Thank you.
All right, no other questions. I will open up the public hearing if you'd like to speak on this. And I will close the public hearing. Anything else from council? Fair enough. Moving on, second reading Council Bill 2025-07.
Second reading Council Bill number 2025-07, an ordinance of the Council of the City of Nixa amending Chapter 22, Article 5, Division 1, Section 22-345 of the Nixa City Code to provide an exception to the requirement of weekly solid waste pickup under certain circumstances, presenting as City Attorney Nick Woodman.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. The council held a first reading on this bill at the March 11th City Council meeting. And as the title suggests, the bill, if approved, would add an exception to the weekly solid waste collection requirement that's currently in the code. Let me speak on that for a moment. The exception is triggered in the event that there are documented instances of inclement weather, natural disasters, or other events that reasonably prevent solid waste collection. We had some discussion about that at the last meeting. I'm happy to answer any questions on this that I'm able to. Staff recommends approval.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Woodman. All right. If there are no other questions, I will open up the public hearing. And I will close the public hearing. Anything else from council? I'll accept a motion.
So made.
Second.
First by Mrs. Morris, a second by Mr. Peterson. Roll call, please.
Aaron Peterson,
Yes.
Kelly Morris,
Yes.
Darlene Graham,
Yes.
Zern Vest,
Yes.
Sean Lucas.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, next up, Resolution 2025-17.
Resolution number 2025-17, a resolution of the Council of the City of Nixa demonstrating the city's commitment to public safety, including a commitment to reduce violent crime within the city as a part of the state's Blue Shield program, presenting as Police Chief Joe Campbell.
Mayor, Council, on March 5th, 2025, Governor Mike Kehoe announced that Missouri counties, cities, and towns can apply for Missouri Blue Shield designation. This would recognize their commitment to public safety, support for law enforcement, and our willingness to build sustainable public safety partnerships. Governor Kehoe stated that he would work with the General Assembly to make $10 million in grant funding available to law enforcement training for law enforcement training and equipment to Blue Shield communities. The Missouri Department of Public Safety will be administering this program, so they are encouraging communities to get their status early, because the grant funding will be approved in July of this year, and that's for fiscal year 2026. For the city to gain this Blue Shield status, we must meet a number of criteria, one of which would be accomplished tonight with the passage of this resolution. It shows a commitment to reducing violent crime within our jurisdiction. We also need to demonstrate extraordinary investments in public safety funding, community policing initiatives and local partnerships, law enforcement officer recruiting and retention programs that we have in place, demonstrate the effectiveness in reducing crime with innovative programs, participate in anti-crime regional task force, and then, of course, finally, compliance with Missouri crime reporting, traffic stop data, and other related statutes accordingly. So the good news is, when we read through that criteria, Short of having this resolution, we've met every single criteria prior to this even being created, which tells me that we're doing a really good job of doing what basically what people in public safety consider as standard operating procedure. And from that perspective, I think, we'd really appreciate this resolution to be passed so that we can move forward with this. Of course, as soon as this resolution is passed, we'll be making application. I don't know that we'll be the first city to be approved, but I'd like to be within the top few cities. I think Branson may have gotten a little leg up on us because Governor Kehoe visited, and he unveiled this Blue Shield program while he was at their department. So they probably got a little bit of leg up on us, but we certainly meet all the parameters, and so we like to be up there as one of the first cities to get the Blue Shield designation. And of course, we could always use grant funding for our department. Of course, staff recommends passage of this resolution. Thank you.
Awesome. Any questions? Now, when you were reading through those, I was like, I'm pretty sure we're doing all of that. So that's pretty impressive.
We checked all the boxes immediately, so that's good news.
Keep up the good work. All right. No other questions? I will open up the public hearing. And I will close the public hearing. Nothing else from council. I will accept the motion.
I'll
So
make the
made.
motion.
Got a first by Mr. Lucas, a second by Ms. Graham. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, next up, Resolution 2025-18.
Resolution number 2025-18, a resolution of the Council of the City of Nixa consenting to the mayor's appointments to the McCroskey Street Community Improvement District's Board of Directors. Presenting is City Attorney Nick Woodman.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. In 2011, the city established the McCroskey Street Community Improvement District. Community improvement districts are economic development tools that are established to fund public improvements within their boundaries. And these districts are governed by a board of directors. The board of directors for the McCroskey Street Community Improvement District has 5 seats, and 3 of those seats are in need of reappointment. The way that the statute reads and the petition that governs the district reads, those appointments are made by the mayor with the consent of the city council. So if approved this evening, this resolution would evidence the council's consent of the mayor's reappointments to the Community Improvement District's Board of Directors. I'm happy to answer whatever questions I can about this, and staff recommends approval.
Any questions for Mr. Woodman? Thank you, sir. And any questions to me on any of the 3 appointees? Fair enough. No other questions. I will open up the public hearing. And I will close the public hearing. Nothing else from council. I'll accept the motion.
So made.
Second.
First by Mr. Peterson, a second by Mrs. Morris. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, next up, Resolution 2025-19.
Resolution number 2025-19, a resolution of the Council of the City of Nixa authorizing the electric energy cost adjustment pursuant to Section 22-310 of the Nixa City Code. Presenting is Assistant City Administrator and Public Works Director Doug Colvin.
Mayor and council, with the latest electric rate ordinance adopted in 2021, we established an ECA, or energy cost adjustment, to cover fluctuations in wholesale energy cost from year to year. We started out with a base cost, what we anticipated based on the contracts for that year. The price for all-in energy, meaning the energy capacity and the transmission to get it here, we were anticipating $57.30 a megawatt, or 5.73. And then what we do from there is each year after that, if the wholesale cost of the energy is higher than that, we would add an energy cost adjustment to the bill. If it's below that and we had savings, we share that savings back with the customer. We've been very fortunate that every year since the first one, we have actually provided a credit back to the customers. Again, this year, which quite honestly was pretty surprising, that we came in under again with gas prices, natural gas prices doing what they did, with some of the things that we've seen on the transmission side, cost transmission side. We didn't anticipate this to be below the number again. In any event, this year, if this is passed, we would implement a credit to the customers at 56/100ths of a cent per kilowatt hour, or just a little over a half a cent. That would begin with the April bills and run through March of next year. We do this every year. It's finally approved by council, even though it's a pretty set formula. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Colvin. If no other questions, I will open up the public hearing. And I will close the public hearing. Nothing else from council, I will accept a motion.
So made.
Second.
First by Mrs. Morris, a second by Mr. Vest. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Ayes have it, motion carries. All right, last resolution, Resolution 2025-20.
Resolution number 2025-20, a resolution of the Council of the City of Nixa authorizing the city administrator to purchase new suppressors for use by the police department in the amount of $12,296.40, presenting as Police Chief Joe Campbell.
Mayor, Council, I'll try to go through this and not become too technical with all of the things that we're going to be dealing with, but the emergency tactical team uses suppressors on their rifles. The current suppressors are at the end of their lifespan, and they got to be replaced because as they age out, their accuracy is degraded, and then it becomes a safety issue. Certainly want to have the most accurate rifle you would have on a SWAT team. These are essential pieces of equipment, and a suppressor basically reduces the amount of noise that the rifle makes. So it can really prevent hearing loss or hearing damage from being fired in like a close quarters or inside of a house or a building. And then it also reduces the amount of lead exposure as well. We currently run short-barreled rifles or a shorter barrel rifle on the SWAT team, so that's why they're incredibly loud, so that necessitates the suppressor. So it's really a safety issue is why we run those. We did have money allocated in our budget in 2025 in our trackable assets line for this replacement, and we were able to secure a quote for $12,296.40 from ProForce Law Enforcement, and we were able to find that on a cooperative purchasing agreement. Of course, this is it is in our line and budget, and we recommend passage of this resolution so that we can proceed with the purchase of these suppressors. Any questions?
Any questions? I didn't see where tennis put in that Jimmy and I are getting one of these as well. That was part of the deal, so.
Yeah, the ATF has a vested interest in who has these and who doesn't, so.
Yeah, they probably don't want me to have one. So. Makes squirrel hunting pretty interesting, I can tell you that. All right, thank you, Chief. All right, no other questions. I will open up the public hearing. And I will close the public hearing. Nothing else from council. I will accept the motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
First by Ms. Graham, second by Mr. Lucas. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Anything else from staff?
Mayor, I'd like to just For those of you, if you remember, at the last meeting, Councilman Peterson asked us for an update on our ADA transition plan. We started working on that. We've had some issues getting some maps and some things that we wanted to show to you as an exhibit, and so it's our plan to hopefully have that for you at the next meeting, have it available for you.
Perfect. Thank you, Mr. Colvin.
Mayor, I've got a couple of updates too. One, our first community volunteer day will be at Gardens of Woodfield on April the 12th at 9 a.m. We've got about 30, maybe 30 plus confirmed at this point, so hoping for a pretty good turnout there. We'll be working on flower beds and things at the park from 9 to noon on that day. April 19th is also our annual Easter egg hunt at Macaulay Park. That begins at, we'll say 9 a.m. The first egg hunts don't happen until around 9:30, 9:45. And so, yeah, come out, enjoy some Easter egg hunt. It'll be a lot of fun, a lot of activities and things going with soccer immediately following. And then one other update, as we got around for our diving board CIP, we needed to order some new parts for the diving board this year. In doing so and getting that order done, the manufacturer does not want to support our current diving board setup. And so our diving board stand is no longer supported after 20 whatever years there. So we are needing to order a new diving board stand. The problem is that is more than our initial budget. However, in our CIPs, we did budget for a pool painting that we won't need to do this year. And so we are going to supplement those funds from the painting to get us to the diving board amount, which is $14,800. 9 of which was already budgeted, if that makes any sense with you. So about $6,000, just under, to update the diving board and get the diving board back within spec in the sense that it's something that they will support. Our diving board meets its specifications as is. However, it does need updated parts just to keep everything going smoothly. So just I want to give you that update. Just if you see some weird things happening there, that'll be one of those updates for you. It's parts that we have ordered in the past. I think I ordered them 6 or 7 years ago. Ordered the parts, we received the parts, no big deal. Installed the parts, everything were good. But evidently, in that last 5 to 6 years, they aren't supporting that diving board configuration anymore. So.
How much of the base has to be? Is it the whole base has to be replaced?
In the stand category, yes. Concrete, we don't believe so. We believe that the concrete will work as is and be able to run as is. And so just be more the base and the configuration of that base.
Cool. All right.
Mayor, Council, I just wanted to give you some feedback on some of the decision-making that you all have made concerning salary and benefits and things of that nature for the, as it relates to the police department. I know that last year you guys put a lot of work into our salary and benefits, and we saw a significant increase in the starting pay for our officers. And I really, you know, as we have moved into this new year, we are seeing a real benefit from that. We are getting really high-quality applicants that are reaching out from to potentially work for us. And our reach has gone from coast to coast as it stands. So we've had people from all the way from the West Coast to Florida and everywhere in between inquiring about our department. And I think, honestly, the driver is the starting pay. So I just wanted to show you a little appreciation for that and let you know that that's having a real positive effect for us in our department. So thank you.
Thank you very much. It's good to hear the good stuff every now and again. All right. If there's nothing else.
We do have the election that's happening on April 8th.
Oh, yeah.
You know, running unopposed, but there are still some other items that are on there that are of significance. And so I encourage everyone to get out and vote.
Good call. Thank you, sir. All right. If there is nothing else, Mr. Peterson.
I move that city council go into closed session under section 610-021-1, 3, and 13 of RSMO. I also move that this closed session, records related thereto, and any votes taken by the council during this session shall be closed under section 610-021 of RSMO, and that the city council shall stand adjourned after the closed session.
Second.
First by Mr. Peterson, a second by Mr. Lucas. Roll call, please.
Aaron Peterson,
Yes.
Zern Vest,
Yes.
Sean Lucas,
Yes.
Darlene Graham, Kelly Morris.
Yes.
Thank you all.